Hey! Hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. So 2016 in video gaming was pretty friggin' sweet, pretty friggin' awesome, but like any year, like every year, there are those disappointments. There are those moments of, well, that sucked. And 2016 in gaming had quite a few of those. Now, I'm sure for most gamers in 2016, their biggest video game disappointment of the year was No Man's Sky, which is completely understandable. Man, the shit show that game produced was just glorious to watch. Absolutely glorious, hilarious, an absolutely entertaining display. However, for me personally, originally, my most disappointing game of 2016 was Hitman. Was the new Hitman reboot, remake, prequel, sequel? I don't know. It's very confusing what direction they're taking the Hitman plot with this latest Hitman game, so I don't know exactly where it stands in Hitman lore. More importantly, however, when I first played Hitman via its beta, which honestly had me somewhat concerned and confused from the get-go, because why does a single-player game need a beta? That's somewhat confusing. Then I played it, and oh man, the issues I had with the beta. Loading screens that went on forever, frame rate drops, lag, stuttering. Needless to say, I was worried. I was worried about the new Hitman, and then when I actually got the game, or should I say, the first episode, which had me pretty bummed. Not gonna lie, I've never been a big fan of the new direction the Hitman is going in terms of its new episodic release schedule. I find that works with games that are solely focused on the story, like Telltale games. But for a AAA video game series like Hitman, I don't know, there's just something off about that. With every other Hitman game, you progress through the single-player campaign, going from mission to mission. But with this Hitman, up until the release of all its episodes, what you have to do is play the first episode, replay that over and over again until you get the second episode, and replay episode 1 and 2 over and over again until you get the third episode, because the Hitman games are all about replayability, replaying the different missions, the different hits in the single-player campaign missions. So having this huge delay in between missions, in between levels, I don't know, that just doesn't sit right with me, it doesn't feel right. But, rewinding a bit back here, when I finally played Hitman at release, it had all the same issues in the beta, and I refunded the game and used the money to buy a different game. And I thought that would be the end of it for me in this new Hitman. I thought that would be my biggest disappointment of the year, but I recently picked up the new Hitman, all the episodes, basically the full complete package this time, and it seems Square Enix has addressed the technical issues, and it's much harder to complain about getting a full packaged game with all the content this time. So instead of No Man's Sky, instead of Hitman, I've come to the conclusion of what was truly my biggest disappointment of 2016, and that would have to be Evolve Stage 2. But don't misunderstand me here. I love Evolve, or at least OG original Evolve. It was one of my favorite games of 2015. Evolve's become one of my favorite games of all time. I love Evolve. And I did enjoy Stage 2. I preferred original Evolve, but I did enjoy Stage 2 because it still had the kind of heart and core of why I played original Evolve. And Evolve Stage 2, this new free-to-play version of Evolve, free to everybody, reinvigorated life into the game. But on top of that, more importantly, Turtle Rock Studios, the developer, really truly listened to all the complaints, all the fan feedback, and did absolutely everything in their power to make Evolve Stage 2 the most gamer-friendly game imaginable. It was ridiculous how accommodating Turtle Rock Studios was to their customers, and made what was quite frankly almost an absolutely true free-to-play game. They didn't even have microtransactions, and when they finally did implement microtransactions near the end of Stage 2's life cycle, they didn't even finish the microtransactions. They're exclusive to America. You can't even get them anywhere else in the world. And the microtransactions themselves were even fair. You didn't get any exclusives or shit like that. You could just pay money and get access to stuff you could already access by just playing in-game. Quite frankly, Turtle Rock Studios was doing absolutely positively everything right with Evolve Stage 2, with constant updates, with new content, constant balance changes and updates. Like, they were on their game. They were on fire, Turtle Rock Studios, with Evolve Stage 2. But what makes Evolve Stage 2 my biggest disappointment of 2016 is not the game itself, but the gaming community's reaction to Evolve Stage 2. Turtle Rock Studios gave it their all. They did their absolute best to make Evolve Stage 2 the most gamer, the most consumer-friendly game imaginable. The lengths they went to appease gamers and consumers. Every complaint, every issue was addressed, something was done in-game if there was something people didn't like. This character is OP. If enough people said this character was OP, they did a nerf. This character needs a buff. If enough people said this character needed a buff, got a buff. We're having issues with connection and networking and grouping up with friends. Addressed. We need more content. Addressed. We want more co-op PvE. Addressed. You name it. Turtle Rock responded. They did everything in their power for the sake of good PR and consumer satisfaction. And yet, how did the motherfucking gaming community respond when they were literally handed a video game that was not only of AAA quality, co-op and PvP multiplayer, and absolutely, totally, in every sense of the word, free to play, with a developer that was actually going out of their way above and beyond to listen to their players? Meh was the gaming community's response. Meh. Here is a game that literally did everything right, did everything that the majority of the gaming community has been asking for from the games industry forever. A totally free-to-play game that listens to the community, that isn't pay to win. This was an amazing opportunity for the gaming community to stand by their words, to stand by their complaints, to stand by their demands of what they've been asking for the game industry. Here, Evolve Stage 2 offered an opportunity for better free-to-play games. A new market, a new opportunity for AAA gaming. A way for the gaming community to say, yeah, this is what we want. This is what we want for our games. And where the fuck was the gaming community? Playing the same games they've been playing for years, playing games with absurd and intrusive microtransactions, playing the same games that they've been complaining about for years. Here comes a game that addresses those complaints, and not a peep. Yes, when Evolve Stage 2 launched on Steam for the first time, it had a huge influx of players, but the players didn't stay. Despite Turtle Rock constantly pumping out content, patches, changes, fixes, despite, again, doing absolutely everything in their power to be gamer and consumer friendly, gamers still abandoned Evolve Stage 2, even though it was doing everything right. And on top of that, addressing so many issues that people had with original Evolve. When original OG Evolve came out in February 2015, there was a lot of criticism, especially over its microtransactions and DLC, which they completely removed and basically gave out to everyone. DLC characters that you originally had to pay for in original Evolve, in Evolve Stage 2, available for everyone, free for everyone. That is such a rarity in the games industry. You would think the gaming community would want to support this, that they want to say, yes, this is what we want. Nope, back to Call of Duty and League of Legends, herpa-derpa-der. Well, I also can't not mention that Overwatch also came out this year, alongside the rising popularity of Rainbow Six Siege, Paladins, another free-to-play game. Of course, there's always Warframe, that's very popular and free-to-play. And people are still fucking playing Counter-Strike. Oh, that's nuts. That's nuts, man. Evolve Stage 2 had a lot of competition, even though it was doing everything right and just going out of its way, giving it its all. Maybe there was just too much competition. However, I have come across a few YouTubers and a few egomaniacs in comment sections stating that it's Evolve Stage 2's fault, that it's the game's fault that it died. Nope, nada, not at all. The game, as I've been saying throughout this video, did everything right. People just didn't play it. They didn't want to play it. And you can't blame them. You can't stop them. If they want to play Overwatch or Paladin or League of Legends or Call of Duty, if they want to play the video games they want to play, they have every right to play them. This, quite frankly, is a problem with the games industry nowadays that not a lot of people are talking about, and I mentioned in a previous video you might want to check out. There's just too many damn multiplayer video games, both free to play and pay to play. There's too much competition, and the thing about these multiplayer games, they rely on a player base, but the players are constantly fluctuating from game to game. There's no guarantee that your player base is going to be stable if you release a multiplayer only game. It is why I protest and demand single player, PvE, and bot support. These things keep games alive. And Evolve Stage 2, luckily, happily, has both PvE and bot support, so the game is still playable. And I still highly recommend it. I love Evolve to death. It's so much fun. Whether you're playing solo or with friends, there's just no other experience compared to playing as an alien monster hunter or a giant alien monster yourself. So even though the unfortunate dying of Evolve Stage 2 was my biggest disappointment of 2016, it was still a great game. It was still yet another great game in 2016. Even in the negatives, even in the downsides of 2016, it still provided yet another great game. 2016 really was just a freaking phenomenal year for gaming, no matter how you look at it, despite the commercial, critical, and personal disappointments. Anyways, that's been a video. I hope you liked the video. If you did indeed like the video in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to hit the like button. The like button helps you, helps me, helps everybody involved with the video. If you hit the like button, please leave a comment. What are your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on the topic of this video? I'd love to read your thoughts, feelings, and opinions in the comment section below. I love reading comments. I get nearly enough comments. Please leave a comment. If you want to help out and support this video, then please consider sharing it on social media, Twitter and Facebook. And if you want to help out and support me directly, then please consider pledging and becoming a patron on my Patreon. Anyways, guys, that's a bit of video. I'll see you all later.